Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our lessons for the however long it may be while we're in quarantine, quote unquote. Um, Once again, my name is Miss Satchell. If you do not recognize my voice, that's okay. No harm, no foul. Today, we're going to go into Module 6, Lesson 2, which is just a continuation from the lesson before. As you can see, I am very excited about this because we get to go into the coordinate plane, which is one of my favorite things, and SpongeBob accurately represents my excitement about it. So for this lesson, once again, if you have your green workbook, go ahead and take that out, pause the video, get your things together, a notebook or loose leaf paper if you don't have your green workbook, a pencil, of course, and for this one, it could be beneficial if you have if you have grid paper. That's not a requirement at all. You can totally do this without grid paper, but if you just happen to have it lying around, if you, I don't know, for some reason, if you have it, it'd be a great asset to this. But no harm, no foul if you don't have it. Okay, let's go right in. Okay, so our objective for this lesson is to construct a coordinate system on a plane. So the lesson that we did before, we created a coordinate system on a line. So this one's a little bit differently because a plane is it has more space and it has more than just a horizontal line. And just to throw it out there, horizontal means just this way, and vertical is going to be up and down. This is going to be vocabulary that I'm going to reference back to this entire lesson. So I'll continue to help you try to remember that. Okay, and our I can statement or I will statement is I will be able to construct a coordinate system on a plane. Okay, our vocabulary for this lesson is coordinate plane. Now it's hard to really describe what a coordinate plane is, but this is what it looks like. This is what it's always going to look like. There is a horizontal line, which is going to be named X for reasons that are far too complicated to explain right now, but it's always going to be named X. Just trust me on that. And then this line, this green line up here is going to be our vertical line. It's always going to be named Y. So this is X and Y. Our next vocabulary word is coordinate pair. And this is exactly what it is, a pair of numbers to describe a point on the coordinate plane. So you would literally see it written as a parentheses, a number or an X, comma, Y, or number, and in parentheses. So this is our reference to what we're talking about with a coordinate pair using the letters of the lines. And this is what it looks like with a number. Okay, our X coordinate is the first number in a coordinate pair. It's always going to be the first number in a coordinate pair. It's always going to be the first number in a coordinate pair. Okay, and our Y coordinate is always going to be the second number in a coordinate pair. So X is always going to be first and Y is always going to be second. Just like in the alphabet, it goes X, Y, Z. X comes first, then Y. Just a little reminder. Okay, so this coordinate plane, this is kind of where we're starting off with in our problem set. If you have a problem set, totally fine. If you don't, it's okay. You can attempt to recreate this coordinate plane right here, but it's not necessary. What I do want to draw your focus on is this chart here, because it has our locations and everything kind of broken down into X coordinate, Y coordinate, and shape. And for those who are turning in work, which should be everyone, that's what we're going to be asking you to turn in, this chart here. We don't ask perfection when we're to recreate this plane or whatever, but we do want to see your shape, this chart for the shapes and stuff, okay? So the way we identify things on a coordinate plane is pretty simple, pretty easy. Just like it's very similar to when we plot things on the number line, when we did the number line the lesson before. This one just has a little bit more space. You're looking at two numbers at the same time. So let's go ahead and look at the first line in our chart here. We have X coordinate 2, Y coordinate 5. So that means we look on this line X, we find the number 2, okay? What helps me when it comes to these things is to draw, like to just color in this line, however it may be. color in this line, identify this line so you can see it perfectly. And the same thing with the other line when we get to Y. Okay, so this is X up here, all the way up. Sorry, the line's not straight. And Y is right across, Y 5. So we're gonna go all the way up to 5 and make this across. And the shape that intersects with both X and Y, X2 and Y5 is the triangle. So in the shape where it says, in this shape column over here, we're just gonna either write triangle or draw a triangle. I'm gonna draw a triangle, but I do want you all to write the word triangle, just so I know for a fact that we're on the same page. Okay, let's look at one more before I let you do this on your own. All right, the second one is x coordinate y. I'm sorry, x coordinate 1 and y coordinate 2. So let's look at the x line, the x axis. We have 1. We're going to draw this up. All right, and the y axis, the line is 2. So 2, 1. It's sort of like the game Battleship. If you've ever played it, it's the exact same concept. Just being able to identify things on a grid, which is what the coordinate plane is sometimes called, a grid. So it's the same thing. What I want you to do is I want you to identify the shape for this one, for this line, and the shape for this line as well. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video at this time so that you can identify them, and then I will give you the answer. I'm making sure you actually pause the video. So actually pause the video, take the time, figure out what shape is at the 5x 6y and 6x 5y. All right, if I look at coordinate x5, this is the line up here, and y6, that gives me a square. So the shape for this one would be a square, which is also known as a quadrilateral, which is what we went over right before we left. And the last one would be x coordinate 6. Sorry, x coordinate 6, y coordinate 5, which is going to give us our, I think this is an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, our octagon. Okay, I'm gonna actually try to write this out. Octo, O-C-T-O, G-O-N, octagon. It has 8 sides. All right, if you got that, you are on the right track and you're right along with me. If you don't, it's okay. We're still working on it. We're still growing. So don't throw in the towel yet. Okay, so once again, it says what shape is 2 units from the y-axis? That means that we start on the y-axis. Okay, from here, it's just like if we go along the x-axis, except for we're just not really going up. We're looking directly at the y-axis and then going over as many units based off of the x. I know that's a bit confusing, but just follow along with me. Okay, so if we start on the y-axis right here, we're starting right here. We're looking for the one that's exactly 2 units from the axis line right here, the origin, the 0. So if we look at this, we would look at this one where it says 1 right here and 2. So exactly 2 units from the y-axis is the triangle. Okay, so the answers to that would be triangle. The next question is going to ask us which shape has a x-coordinate of 0. Now this is another one of those questions which is a little bit tricky. But what it's asking you is what shape is actually on the y-axis, the one that doesn't move across. If it's on the x-axis, it doesn't go up. If it's on the y-axis, it doesn't go across. So if a number or a shape is plotted on the x-axis, That means it does not move vertically. It stays horizontal. It stays on our number line right here. And the same thing with a number that's on the y-axis, which means that it stays vertical and it does not go horizontal. Okay? I know that was a lot. Take a deep breath. It's okay. I'm here to walk you through it. So what shape has a x-coordinate of 0, which means that it stays, it does not venture out right. It does not go out in here. It just stays on our y-axis. So that would be our parallelogram. That would be our parallelogram right here. That's our answer for C, our parallelogram. And you can just draw the shape if that's easier for you. All right, our next question says, which shape is 4 units from the y-axis and 3 units from the x-axis? It's another one of those tricky questions. Now, when it says 4 units from the y-axis, that means it starts on the y-axis wherever it may be. I'm going to just say it starts here, and then it goes 4 units to the right. It moves 4 units out. Okay? So that means that on the x-axis, that number is going to be 4, and the opposite is going to be on the for this statement as well. I know it's very tricky, but it's okay. We're gonna keep working on it. We're gonna get through it. Okay, so it's asking us which shape is 4 units from the y-axis. This means that it says that it's going to be 4 horizontally. It's going to be right here. And then it says 3 units from the x-axis, which means it goes up 3 units from where it is. So if we start where it says 4 units, this is where 4 units from the y-axis looks like. And then we're going to look 3 units from the x-axis. 4 units from the y-axis and 3 units from the x-axis. So that's going to bring us to our diamond. Our diamond, our kite, our whatever other quadrilateral it is considered. Okay? Now these 3 questions at the end were a little bit tricky, and that's okay. We're put there to push your thinking, to stretch your thinking, to give you some other ways of thinking about how to look at shapes on the coordinate plane. This is just our first look into questions like this. Okay, it's more important that you understand this chart and how to identify the shapes based off of the coordinates. Okay, so the work that we are going to work on turning in our quote unquote exit ticket for the day is this exact same chart. But instead of us finding out the shape, we're going to find out the coordinate. Okay, so we're going to figure out which numbers go along with these with these shapes. Okay, so I'm going to do the first one with you because I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. I'm going to do the first one with you. So it says smiley face. Okay, so I'm going to look at my coordinate plane right here, and I'm going to see my smiley face. Okay, I can see that. Thank you. If I go down, it's going to give me a 2 on the x-axis. Okay, and if I go across, it's going to give me a 1 on the y-axis. Okay, so the x-coordinate is going to be 2. I'm going to write that down. And our y-coordinate is going to be, let me draw my line again. It's going to be 1. Okay, and that's our coordinate pair. Okay, once again, if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out to your teacher. Just clarifying questions about what's going on, how we identify things. Make sure for your work that you're turning in, you're going to turn in the coordinates for, I actually want you to draw this entire chart on whatever paper, notebook, whatever you have. I want you to draw this entire chart. You will not have to draw this. I know what you're referencing to, but you're going to draw this chart and you're going to fill this in. Remember, we did the smiley face together, so you already have that written. You should have a 2 in the x coordinate for the smiley face and a 1 in the y coordinate for the smiley face. You're going to figure out the diamond, the sun, and the heart on your own to the best of your ability. If that means that you're just taking a ruler or a pencil without drawing on the computer, of course, just a pencil and kind of tracing the line down to where the x-axis is and tracing the line to where the y-axis is, that's exactly what you need to do. Or if you can do it without drawing, then you are a little bit more advanced than I am right now. Okay, remember to reach out to your teachers for questions, turn in your work through your teacher, reach out, text, however they have communicated to you that they want you to do that. And remember to write a sentence about what you learned. Or actually, I would actually want you to write one big takeaway. What's one big takeaway from what you learned today on this lesson? Okay. Thank you and have a good night.